Six Attitudes for Winners, the best seller ever book in the history of books, written by Norman Vincent Peale. Today, in this video, I'm Ved Mitrar. I'll narrate this whole book to you. I hope definitely you will like it as I started liking it when I started seeing, as saw the title of the book, Six Attitudes for Winners. So I got totally impressed. So that's why I thought to read and narrate for you as well as for myself. So the very first chapter is the chapter one is here a positive. No problem is too great to solve. So here now the content starts. Positive. No problem is too great to solve. So Jesse Penny, a long time friend of mine, was a big Gorus, 95 years old. Here, Vincent, here Norman Vincent Peale says, here he starts narrating about an incident about the friend. So here, J.C. Penny, a long time friend of mine, was a big Gorus, 95 years old. When we were seated together at a speaker's table in a New York hotel, Waldorf Astoria. We fell to discussing problems and what to do about them. So he replied, "You have had plenty of difficulty in your long lifetime, Jesse." Then narrator said, Vincent said, "What is your philosophy of a problem?" He here narrator asked his friend that what is your philosophy of a friend. Then his friend starts like this. His answer was characteristic of this great and a good man. Well, Norman, he replied, actually I'm grateful for all my problems. As each of them was overcome, I became stronger and more able to meet those yet to come. I grew on my difficulties. So this is the page number one. Now here page number two. Like J.C. Penny. At the very beginning of your part to overcome your problems, you will need to take a positive mental attitude toward them. So this was a reply of the friend there when the narrator asked him about the problems, about the difficulties. So here the next heading starts here. How do you look at facts? So here this is one told overtold one tale is told here. So in my office is a sign someone made for me. It reads, attitudes are more important than facts. That legend, that legend means this one quote. This legend has helped me handle my own problems because it teaches how to look at a fact. The negativist may say, here is a hard, tough fact. You just can't get around it. A fact is fact, and that is that. But the positivist, on the other hand, says, yes, here is a fact, but there is a way to deal with this or any fact. Go around it and under it, or over it, or hit it straight on. A problem is for solving, and I have got what it takes to do just that. The negativist is likely to be defeated by the fact, while the positivist will probably handle it creatively. And it is not so much the fact as your attitude toward the fact that determines the outcome. the fact that determines the outcome. So now here the third heading starts like this: the territory nobody wanted. The territory nobody wanted. Here it is written here at the page number 3 of the book. Consider the case of two salesmen. One was assigned territory that had produced very little business for the company. This territory had the reputation that nobody can do anything with it. The man went to his new territory in full acceptance of the general appraisal that there was no business possibility there. So he reasoned, why knock myself out? I'm being unfairly treated by having this non producing area hung around my neck. You will not be surprised to know that he failed to develop any appreciable amount of new business and left the company. He never even gave it a try. It was for him a fact that no, now the page number 4 of the book, no opportunity was available there. His attitude toward it was negative, and results negative. So here that is the very important thing is written here, friends. Means the attitude, if you do something having attitude negative, definitely there will be results negative also. So it teaches us very well that have positive attitude toward any work, definitely the results will be positive. So that's what I also feel like applying this, but it's a difficult one also to have positive attitude towards any activity or any problem. And positive thinking, to keep positive thinking, it's a so tough one thing. So now here, next paragraph starts at the page number 4, same. A second salesman brought it. A second salesman brought in from across the country, knew nothing about the territory except that it was centered around a thriving metropolitan community. No one had told him that it contained no sales possibility. So he proceeded to get busy and made many sales. Why? This is an unworked gold mine, he exclaimed. All his thinking was positive and his activity was positive. He made a great success of the territory, but so profound was this man's positive mental attitude that had even told him that it was a bad territory. He wouldn't have believed it. And why should he? There were hundreds of thousands of people living there and they needed his product, and he was there to see that they had. He was a successful man. At the page number 5, three steps to a positive mental attitude. I would like to repeat, three steps to a positive mental attitude. Think, don't react. Means Vincent focuses by writing this book for all of us. Means think, but don't react at all. But we react more than the thing sometime. What is written here? When a difficulty strikes, the tendency is to panic or to be upset. We all are very natural. I think with all of us this happens. What? When a difficulty strikes, when a difficulty comes to us, the tendency we have in our mind, we start being panic or be upset. We become upset as the problem or difficulty comes, and even to be resentful. Such reactions are emotionally conditioned. If one's acts are determined in such a state of mind, they're likely to lack full or rationality. One must discipline himself to be calm in his thinking. He must cool it, for the mind can think when it is hot. Only when the mind is cool will it produce those rational, factual concepts that lead to the solutions. Means we have cool mind. If we stay calm down, then we can reach to the solutions of any difficulty. That's all. But we lose our temper and we become hot. So that's what this we have challenge. We have to face. We have to control. We have to manage it all. So that's it. So do not allow yourself to emote. Think. Actually, your head is your greatest asset. Keep it always under disciplinary control. Remember the statement credited to the Thomas A. Edison. The chief purpose of the body is to carry the brain around. The great inventor knew that it is in the mind, working in non overheated fashion, that we get ideas, not impulses. And with these sound, ideas were solved, ideas we solve problems. Become a how thinker. Here, Vincent says to all of us that the message of the writer to us that become a how thinker, not if thinker. Become a how thinker here at the page number 6 starts here. After 30 years of hard work, Fred lost his business because of a crooked partner. I expected him to be full of bitterness when he came to see me. Instead, he told me he had found his assets to be much greater than his liabilities. All I had when I began 30 years ago was $50. Now I have $500. So you see, I have my head on that. He said with a grin. I started with a wonderful vibe, and I still have her. Thank God. I'm way ahead on experience. Within a year after this setback, he had started another business and was doing well. But the statement he made that really stayed with me was this: I decided I would not be an if thinker, but a how thinker. That's quite a thought provoking distinction. The if thinker broods over a difficulty or a setback, saying bitterly to himself, if only I had done this. And so, if only this or that circumstance had been different, if others had not treated me so unfairly. So it goes from explanation to explanation, round and round, getting nowhere. The world is full of defeated if thinkers. At the page number 7, this is written here: every problem contains the seeds of its own solution. And this quote is, I think, said and told by Stanley Arnold. Stanley Arnold said that every problem contains the seeds of its own solution. The how thinker, on the other hand, wastes no time, no energy on postmortems when trouble or even disaster hits him. He immediately starts looking for the best solution, for he knows there always is a solution. He asks himself, how can I use this setback creatively? How can I work something good out of it? Page number 8 starts. The how thinker gets problems solved effectively because he knows that the values are always inherent in difficulty. He wastes no time with futile ifs, but goes right to work on the creative house. At the page number 8, believe you can and you can. This dynamic principle has been demonstrated in the lives of too many believers to leave any doubt concerning its validity. It is very important to believe that you can, but with God's help, meet and overcome all the problems. The words believe and can are linked together in a creative action unity. If you believe, you can. If you believe, you can. You can. A man who had been experiencing one failure after another saw in a book a phrase that gripped him. It was this: expect the best and get it. Sorry. A man who had been experiencing one failure another. Saw in the book page that gripped him. It was this expect the waste and get it. It hit him hard, and he admitted to himself that he had been thinking defeating thoughts. Every day he had been expecting the bust and usually getting it. So he began searching through the Bible for the practical ideas that would erase his failure image. He found many, including these two. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. At the page number, this is it in here, different. These scriptures did a real mind bossing job on him, cleaning out doubts and inferiorities. I decided, he said, to take a different attitude toward my job. I would start out each morning saying, I like my job. I like my job. This is going to be the greatest day of my life. Because we become fed up with our work. We don't even like our work. That's what we feel, but we keep on attending, going, doing our work daily. But we don't ever change our mindset that, yeah, I like my job. I like my job. This is what we don't accept, but we keep on doing, and we become bored also. So that's what we need to do. We need to change our mental status. At least we should go on the next level and we should say, yeah, I like my job. That's why I'm doing. So this is going to be the greatest day of my life. I began to see that if I did not believe in myself, I could not expect anyone else to believe in me. Such was the experience of R. Jean Scarf, who told his story in guideposts. So you start buttressing your big faith with the powerful concepts of the Bible. The Bible is packed full of faith producing thoughts that, now the page number 10, can revamp your mental attitude. When that happens, you will become a believer who can believe your way through your problems. Here the heading is your problem, pearl of great price. Means not problem is not a problem is a pearl, and it has a lot worth. And then some years ago I knew an inspirational man who taught me the technique of looking for the pearl of great price buried at the heart of a problem. A young man burdened by a seemingly insoluble problem. I went to him for advice. So you have got a problem, he said. Congratulations. Now here, Charles F. Catering, bring me problems. He says, Charles F. Catering says, bring me problems. Charles F. Catering, famous research scientist, was a wise man, a kind of a natural born philosopher. He was an inventive genius of high order, especially in the automotive field. Automotive field, I could do nothing without problems. He declared empathetically. They toughen my mind. In fact, he said, I tell my assistant not to bring me their success for the weaken me, but rather to bring me their problems for they strengthen me. That's what I like very much over here. As I'm reading, I'm really getting, fascinated, and I'm enjoying a lot. Read the text. I'm also getting motivation. So that's what it's outstanding the Vincent's mindset and philosophy at all. Now at the page number 11, how come congratulations? I asked in surprise. Sympathy seemed more in order because he replied cheerfully. Out of this problem, some big wonderful thing may come into your life. At his encouragement, I outlined the problem in full detail. He listened carefully as I laid out the entire problem before him. There it is. And this big problem of yours, let's not be afraid of it. The face of it is not grim, actually, it is smiling at you, asking you that you play hide and seek with it. There is something great hiding in it. The fun is for you to find it. Now, the page number 12. Basically, he began poking with his forefinger at an imaginary mass laid on the table. Every problem has a soft spot, he explained. We'll find it. Presently, he chuckled. Here it is. Now, let's start breaking this problem apart. I'm sure we'll find something wonderful in it. And under his skillful guidance, we did find one of the greatest values in my personal experience. I have had a profound respect for problems ever since, knowing that each one that comes my way may come bearing a priceless gift of know-how, insight, and understanding. Don't fight a problem and never complain with the problem it strikes you. Instead, start asking questions of the problem, for it is full of know-how for you. Actually, a problem is one of God's greatest methods for teaching you, for helping you to develop. Now, page number 13, cut your problem down to size. Our tendency often is to feel inferior and inadequate in the presence of a problem. In the mind, one tends to blow the problem out of proportion to its actual size. It scares and frightens, not because it is too big for us, but because our fearful thoughts have invested it with a difficulty it is not really possess. An important procedure is to cut the problem down to its true proportions, reduce it to size, empty out the fear, panic, inadequacy, feeling and start thinking with the objectivity, rationality, set the problem straight. In a business office, I found a man behind a desk on which sheets of paper were laid out in an orderly pattern. Each sheet contained handwritten notations. This man said, "You may be curious about what goes on here with these papers. Actually, I'm dealing with a pretty tough problem and I have my own way of doing that." He went on to tell me there was a time in his life when he was licked by problems. Then he met an older businessman who said, "Look, Jake, I have found that usually no problem is as forbidding as it seems. I discovered that if you begin taking a problem apart, breaking it up into its component parts, you can handle the whole problem by dealing with those parts separately. Take a problem in bits and pieces. The matter wouldn't look so big to you." That advice made sense, my friend said. So my method is what you see here. I thoroughly analyze the problem, breaking it up and writing on others' papers its various aspects. Then he continued, I pray and ask for guidance as to how to proceed. Usually I chisel off the easiest part of the problem first and dispose of that. In this manner I continue to work and pray until the problem is reduced to its central core. Then it's wonderful how adequate I feel in dealing with the essence of the matter. This method really works, he declared enthusiastically, so much so that I'm getting a greater kick out of life than ever. I have found that I am bigger than any problem, he concluded stoutly. At the page number 15, seek supernatural help. Seek supernatural help. When we assert that you can overcome any problem, we are taking into account that you do not have to do it entirely on your own. For you see, you have extra help available from God. You have the advantage of insight and strength greater than any human being possess. What problem can possibly be too much for God and you acting together in perfect harmony? It's the greatest combination of all. An attractive young wife glowingly told me of the many ways in which God had been with her in problems, and she had plenty of problems. Among other difficulties, at the page number 16, among other difficulties, she had been crippled by infantile paralysis, but the victorious spirit she evident within her demonstrated that she knew how to overcome any problem. What is your secret? I asked admiringly. Oh, she declared excitedly, I have God's telephone number. I can call him anytime, and his line is never busy. He always answers. And what is God's telephone number? I asked. It's JER 333 ratio 3 dot. That's the Jeremiah chapter 333, verse 3, where it says, call unto me, and I will answer thee. So, thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Certainly, you can handle any and all of your problems if you have God's telephone number. Knowing the divine counsel and help are always readily available. If problems seem too much for you, perhaps it is because you are not calling upon God. His phone is not disconnected, nor is the line busy. He is right there waiting to hear from you. Dial his number JER 33 ratio 3. Call upon him and he will answer you at once. He can show you a way out of your difficulties. He can guide you in overcoming any problem. So that's what this was in the chapter 1. If you really like this video, then do comment. I'll upload a next video for the chapter 2 as I have done here in this video. So thank you so much for watching.